Hey everyone, this is Acid Roots. I've got a review for you, and this one's a rock album. So, what we have here is Creed. If you don't know about them, they were really popular around the year 2000 and a few years before and after. Now, this group went diamond. They sold, went on some tours, really connected with people, and for a short while was one of the flagship rock artists. Maybe if you didn't like their sound, it just really kind of, if you didn't like them, it was obvious that you were into something else. And I mean, I can't say that completely because I don't know that much about rock right now, but it did feel like, if these are the people that are charting on the radio, it's kind of like the way Imagine Dragons was, only a little bit less for them. Like when a rock song charts on the Billboard, it's not as often as it used to be. But luckily, there are rock radio stations that will play these songs, and I think for that, these started to take off. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that these guys did their thing, but they weren't quite as widespread, this universal opinion as someone like the bands from the 80s or something, which there were, tons of them, or someone like Kurt Cobain or something, but I do feel like they were a trending topic. So, they're not really alternative, but they're kind of metal, and they're a little bit more. It just feels like they know that they're in a bad way, but um, things are looking up anyways. So obviously, what that means is, these songs, they don't really have like a bright and cheery smile on their face, but I mean, how many rock songs actually do? That's kind of the thing that you gotta think about is, well, when it comes to rock, when is it, the guitars, the drums, everything on the record, usually it's about noise, and it's about a rush, the emotion, the feeling, and doing it again. So, and with that, this album succeeds. It's not perfect. It's their best-selling album, though, and I felt like delving into it. So, can you smoke to this album? The answer is even though they may not have intended you to do that, you actually can. Just because the way that the instruments sound on the songs is they've got like this kind of, it's not quite guitar, but it just has like this real, trying to think of what I mean by it. Just has like this real dusky belly type sound in the background, a little bit pitched. It's not quite a piano, but it just doesn't sound like a guitar either. And you hear that in a lot of their songs, and it almost gives it a rap feel, just because, the whole time it's not just hearing the band. So, but this works sometimes. I found myself wanting the heavier songs, the more metal songs, more than the more relaxed songs, and I was surprised by that. But luckily, there's several songs, and this is actually a really good summer album. If you're just going wild around this time of year, May, June, July, this is perfect to ride out to, even if you already did. But some smoking songs: What If, Are You Ready, Higher, Wrong Way, Say I. These are some good ones. The production, like I said, when I mentioned that kind of belly type background thing, the band is there, and I actually like it when they're there because it keeps the momentum going in a good way. It's not something that I don't think that you're gonna get bored with it. I mean, obviously there's probably songs that get even more strung out than this, but you know, for someone that was trying to balance charting and um, metal at the same time, this is actually pretty good at it. Um, so about those same songs I listed, With Arms Wide Open is good. Faceless Man kind of has a good, you know, production, and like Wash Away Those Years does as well. I mean, Beautiful, What If, some of these are really good. But the unheard songs, these are the songs I recommend you check out. I do remember hearing the song Higher a couple times, and I think I remember hearing With Arms Wide Open, so those are some good ones. And then there's 5 other songs that are worth it. Are You Ready, What If, Beautiful, Say I, and Wrong Way. Now, all 5 of these songs pack a punch, and like I said, these are songs to get wild to. But they also have some calmer songs. It's kind of, you get a sense of both things. And Inside Us All, Wash Away Those Years, Never Die, Faceless Man, these kind of are not as concerned with, you know, turning up the heat. So I guess you could say they have more. It doesn't really feel like food for thought, but it does kind of feel like they are, you know, it gives you, it just gives them a sense of like, hey, we're not 2-bit rock stars. So that, you know, but I just didn't like those songs. I didn't, and so it's not going to get a high score as it could because of it. I mean, they just should have made straight back to back, you know, blood pumping stuff. When I compare this to others, I do have My Own Prison by Creed, and it's hard. I have kind of obsessive compulsive, so I have a fear of not liking something I listen to if I listen to it all at once. So I kind of do it in bits, and that's kind of what I'm doing right now. The years lineup, I mean, I can't really remember what else came out, but I actually just don't know. That's the thing, is I don't really know what is similar to Creed and everything like that, but we'll see as time goes on. I'm definitely gonna cover this, so I recommend this album, and because I like 7 out of 11 songs, I'm gonna give it an 8.5, just because it's short, and it does have more than half the album, but you know, half of 11 is 5.5. So, you know, really 2 more songs than half is, it should be like 9 out of 11. And so, yeah, I mean, trying to think of, just lost my train of thought. Yeah, I mean, when albums are really short, it doesn't leave much room for error. And when that happens, you can't give an album a high score if there's only 10 songs and you don't like some of them. But that's their biggest weakness, I guess. You know, you just had to wait for their next one. The Future, I mean, I looked this up, and the band members from Creed, except for Scott Stapp, they started a band. So they're in another band, and I just don't know how that worked. I don't know if they charted, but maybe I'll check that out somewhere down the road, meaning soon. And Scott Stapp also went solo as well, and you know, that's basically a continuation of Creed, because I get the feeling there's probably guitars on there. I don't think he lost his ear for it, so you know, we'll check those out. Is this album social? No, that's the thing. It went diamond, so I'm pretty sure that people felt that it was. So I think that kind of speaks for itself. But in terms of that, for people that like rock, which is actually more than normal, it's a good fit. Just the problem with it is they just have a straight face, and I don't know. I mean, yeah. Trying to think of where I want to go with this. It's not like rap albums where, you know, they just make songs about smoking or something. So kind of, you know, it's more presentable. Yeah, it's a presentable rock album. I guess you could say it's safe for work, and it's, you know, people can play it anywhere. You can party to it, and you can play it at your house. It doesn't really matter. It works on both regards. But, you know, once again, since it's presentable, you know, it may not, you know, people may want something more raw. So, can it be topped? Not in terms of commercial. I mean, once you go diamond, that's really hard to top, but I think we'll see what happens. I want to say that they will. But alright, so I give this album an 8.5, and I give this album a 9 social. I'm going to give it a 9 social. Subscribe for more fun.